Welcome back. Owen Fairclough is here, brightening our day as ever. We're going to be hearing about Sony and about how this company can save itself.
Yeah, they're due to hold a news conference about any time now, Melissa. Remember, this is the week, of course, that Sony announced that its losses were going to be more than double that it previously forecast, around $6 billion of losses for 2012. Its shares are up marginally this Thursday morning, around 1% in trading in Japan. We're expecting Sony to announce as many as 10,000 jobs worldwide to go as it tries to reassure investors that it does have some kind of strategy to try and win back a little bit of market share from the likes of Apple. But we'll keep an eye on that for you and, of course, update you through the morning.
So some improvement there for Sony. Owen, what about the rest of the markets?
Yeah, the Nikkei's trading around 0.5% up. We've got some new graphics here on France 24. If you've been following us this morning, you've probably spotted those. We are having one or two glitches. As a result of that, I can't show you the market board, but I can tell you, as I say, the Nikkei's up by around 0.5%. Worth noting that Foxconn, one of the big suppliers to the likes of Apple and also Nokia, its shares down 7%. That was after a profit warning from Nokia. Melissa will have more on that in just a moment.
Indeed, if Sony is having a bad week, as you were saying, Owen, at least it's keeping Nokia company. Indeed, the Finnish mobile maker's stock hit a 15-year low as it issued another profit warning. And to cap it all off, Nokia's re-entry into the lucrative US market has begun in chaos. Yuka Royer has more.
It's still the world's biggest mobile phone maker, but Nokia is facing deeper financial troubles. On Wednesday, its shares plummeted 14% and hit their lowest level since 1997, after the company said its phone business would be running in the red for the first 2 quarters of this year. Nokia's chief tried to sound an optimistic note. Stephen Elop said the disappointing results and outlook meant the firm's business was in transition and stressed its new Windows-based smartphones were off to a good start.
We've established early momentum with Lumia, and we're increasing our investments in Lumia to achieve market success.
But that early momentum has already suffered a setback. Nokia said it would pay compensation to users of its latest Lumia 900 in the US because of a software bug. The announcement came just 2 days after the product's high-profile launch. Once a dominant force in the mobile phone market, Nokia has been losing out to competitors like Apple and Samsung in smartphone business. It's also been squeezed in the fast-growing markets in developing countries by cheaper Asian handsets. The company's 2011 net sales were at the lowest level in 6 years, and its gross profit was down 12% from 2010. Earlier this year, Nokia announced 4,000 job cuts, on top of 10,000 last year, and said it would stop manufacturing phones in Europe by 2013.
OK, let's pick up on one or two more of the day's business headlines for you now. The holding company winding up Lehman Brothers is to start paying out 1/3 of the $65 billion it owes creditors. The US bank, which collapsed in the largest bankruptcy of its kind in 2008, will release around $22 billion. That's following a lengthy process to find a competitive price for its remaining assets. Creditors of the holding company are expected to receive only 21 cents on the dollar, while derivatives creditors will receive 28 cents.
Natural gas prices have dropped to a 10-year low as the US boom threatens to create a huge surplus. Benchmark futures for gas were trading at less than $2 per unit on the New York Mercantile Exchange. That's a 90% drop compared to the all-time high of 2005. Prices have been dropping dramatically as energy companies open up vast reserves of gas across the US using a controversial technique known as fracking.
And staying with commodities, gold will go the other way. That's according to the latest forecast by precious metal analyst GFMS. It thinks gold will continue a 10-year bull run to peak at $2,000 an ounce in 2013. GFMS thinks the average price this year will be around $1,700 an ounce. It predicts demand for gold continuing over ongoing Eurozone fears and monetary policy easing in the US. Just on that subject, if you're invested in gold, then you do need to stay with us just after 9:15 on Business. We'll be talking to GFMS just to get a few more details about why they think gold will hit $2,000 an ounce in 2013. I can tell you that there's our gold board for now. Gold trading at around $1,650. That's a 0.5% increase on yesterday. So we'll be talking to Philip Newman from GFMS just after 9:15 Paris time.
Now, throwing the books at the e-readers, Apple's been in plenty of legal battles over patent copyrights in the past year. This time, though, it's foes the US government. It's accusing the iPad maker of colluding with major publishers of electronic books to squeeze out rivals like Amazon.
A scheme to inflate the price of e-books, now destined for a courtroom battle. The United States Department of Justice says 5 major publishing houses colluded with Apple to limit retailers like Amazon from discounting e-books after the launch of the iPad in 2010. According to papers lodged in a New York court, the elements of the deal included using what's called an agency model so that publishers could set the prices of their books, agreeing to minimum prices for bestsellers, and paying Apple a 30% commission for books sold through its iBook store.
Our investigation even revealed that a CEO allegedly went so far as to encourage an ebook retailer to punish another publisher for not engaging in these illegal activities.
3 of the publishers, Hachette, HarperCollins and Simon & Schuster, have agreed to settle their claims with the Department of Justice, while the federal case will proceed against Apple, Penguin and Macmillan.
If approved by the court, this settlement would resolve the department's antitrust concerns with these companies and would require them to grant retailers such as Amazon and Barnes & Noble the freedom to reduce the prices of their e-book titles.
The e-book industry, still dominated by Amazon and its Kindle e-reader, was worth $1.7 billion last year. This markup is alleged to have earned the publishers involved up to $100 million. In response to the launch of the action, Macmillan said it had not acted illegally, while Apple and Penguin have not commented. A similar investigation by the EU led to settlements by Apple and 4 other publishing houses at the end of last year.
That was the business news with Owen Fairclough. Thanks very much for all of that, Owen. It's just coming up to 8 o'clock in Paris and 9 o'clock in Damascus. It's been 3 hours that a ceasefire has been holding in Syria. The second part of Kofi Annan's peace plan, the first part on Tuesday, was not respected by Damascus. Troops failed to leave urban centres by Tuesday. So far, though, today's headline seems to be holding. The world is watching closely as it does. We'll be bringing you all the very latest international headlines in just a couple of minutes. My colleague Stuart Norval will be back.
Despite an outstanding seafaring heritage and the second largest area of territorial waters in the world, France no longer rules the waves.
I hope that at least one boat will continue to fly the French flag.
In my opinion, the real problem today isn't foreign workers. The real problem is a lack of cargo. There isn't enough work. That's the real issue.
With fishing quotas, foreign competition and rising fuel costs, can the decline of the French maritime sector, providing 400,000 jobs, be halted? Reporters, today, 9:45 p.m. Paris time on France 24.
Welcome to Zagreb. Next year, in July, Croatia will become the 28th member of the European Union. What's the mood in the country? What will this change for Croatians, for Europeans? We find out in Europe District.
Don't miss Europe District. Today, 11:10 a.m. Paris time on France 24. With France 24, experience the French presidential elections in a whole new way with our exclusive interactive Election Buzz 2012. Follow what's being said about the candidates and the key issues across social networks and the web. Learn about the candidates and their positions. Take part in our daily poll. Compare your point of view with web users from around the world. Election Buzz 2012 only on France24.com.